Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I thought I could go over at least like 10 books I loved in 2024. Maybe these could be like book recommendations that I've been wanting to pick it up, I've been wanting to read it. Maybe it could be in your next TBR for January. I don't know, maybe. Maybe you've read every single one of these books and be like, yep, alright, next. I don't know, but these are all the books that I truly loved. I loved all of them. Maybe next year I can do more book recommendations, but I don't know, I feel like I read a lot of books, but at the same time I feel like I didn't read a lot of books, so that's why I only did 10. These are all the books. They're not really in order, so please don't take this with like a grain of salt. They're not in order. These are just like 10 books that I really enjoyed, and I just kind of like threw it in here. You know, first book that's like on top that I kind of like pulled out is If We Were Villains. Something about this book, something about this storytelling, something about the audiobook that I listened to, it was just really good. It was just really good storytelling. It was a really good plot. It kept me interested. It's kind of like past and present. This book is basically about this guy who went to jail for a crime that he didn't do, but he did say that like, it was me, I didn't. So that's why he went to jail for 10 years, and they finally told him like, okay, we don't really have enough to like convict you, you're free to go. So he get out of jail, and before he gets out of jail, the sheriff who was on the case at the time being was like, hey, I am not in the police force anymore. I went through, like, you know, I switched to security to be with my family more. Can you tell me what happened in the last 10 years that you wouldn't say to me at all? Like, you want to tell me, you want to do anything, you just shut your mouth and, you know, you went to jail. So you literally go on this journey with Oliver, and he explains like the whole story of what happened 10 years ago in college to this sheriff who was on this case, to finally get like the connections of what happened. And it's really good. It's, you know, only thing that I would say if you listen to the audible is just pay attention to when he's switching to drama, because all of, like, you know, all of his friends that was a part of this story was in drama class, so just kind of like pay attention to when he's switching through like the stories and the acting and just like all of that, and like the plays that like goes on with it. But yeah, this is drama class, this is college, this is murder mystery thriller, a story that like just kind of like makes you go damn, makes you just want to hear it, makes you just want to like visualize what happened. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It's a book that stuck with me. It's a book that I randomly picked up at Barnes & Noble, and I don't regret it one bit. And yeah, the next book that I have, it is not so much the opposite. It's kind of the opposite. It still goes along with like dark. It's dark, and it is Haunting Adeline. I think we've all seen this book. I think she's become very popular during this whole thing. I know Where's Molly follows Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. I think Where's Molly kind of flows of what happened to Molly, because in Haunting Adeline you get her journal, and you kind of like know her, but not really know her, if that makes sense. I know she's making another book, but I think that's about her grandmother. That's what I've been hearing. I could be wrong. But I kind of want a third book. Is that bad to say? I want a third book of what happened. Just, you know, their life and their journey, and them getting married maybe. I don't know. Maybe we see Molly and these two together. I don't know. So this follows Zane and Adeline. And he is basically a stalker. He stalks her. He sees her in this bookstore because she is an author. Sees her in bookstore, falls in love, becomes a stalker, and you go through this kind of journey of him being a stalker and, you know, breaking it breaking into her house, leaving her roses, doing unnecessary things to her. And also you kind of follow this like a mystery of her grandmother who passed away, and she finds like these letters of she also had a stalker when she was younger back in the day, and you kind of just follow like that, but also you follow them too. I don't know, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's one of these books that you kind of have to keep an open mind to, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I don't want to give too much away. If you want to try and get into like books like this is really good. Mindfuck is also really good if you want to read that too. I read Mindfuck and then I read this, and I don't know, I fell in love with like dark romance books, I think, after that. The next book I have is Never Lie, and I think besides the Housemates like series, I feel like this is like the standalone of just her regular book, but damn, it's very just like it's like in there. It follows these two couples who are trying to buy a house, and she kind of was like, hey, there's this house for sale that's kind of like out there, like where we wanted, we should go check it out. But this house belongs to a psychiatrist who disappeared randomly, and her house got on the market with everything in it, like her belongings and everything goes kind of in it, and she finds this sacred room with tapes of her patients, because she tapes her patients in her house. Yeah, so it follows that, and you just kind of go through this whole journey of her finding the tapes. They also get stuck in this house because there's a snowstorm that hit, so they're just stuck there, and yeah, you just kind of like go through this house, go through this journey of just what happened. And yeah, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. The plot twist at the end was kind of like holy shit. But yeah, I don't know, that book was really good. She know that one with like the tea and the Housemates, but I feel like that's such a popular book that like that needs like no like introduction for it. Also, I think it's turning into a movie, which I'm excited for. And then Fourth Wing, I feel like y'all gonna be sick of me hearing about this book. I don't think any more introduction. There's dragons, there's Violet, there's Xaden, there's Ardarna, there's this world that is so magical. There's talking dragons in your mind. There's flying dragons. No, I don't know. I feel like she nailed it with this book. I feel like Fourth Wing is a book that could have gone one way or another. But yeah, Fourth Wing, really good. I really enjoyed it. There's Spice. There's Xaden. I don't know what else to say. Other than it is just a magical world build with a sad ending. All of her books have sad endings. I'm just really hoping the fifth book is a happy ending. Can we just make it a happy ending? But also, like, I'm scared for Onyx Storm. I don't know who she's gonna kill. I think that's what I'm scared of, because I know she's notorious for killing popular characters. Characters that we love, she kills them. So I'm really scared. And yeah, that's really good. Another fantasy book is Powerless. I also have talked about this. I really enjoy Powerless. I see why a lot of people love Powerless. Powerless is YA. This has spice. This doesn't. Just putting it out there. I'm not a big fan of slow burns. I think I've talked about it multiple times. I'm not a big fan of romance books in general. But if you can throw like, I don't know, like a world build, a fantasy, I'm okay with like a slow burn, because it kind of has to build throughout like the series, if that makes sense. And this was just like one of the slow burns that I love. I love the what is it? I just love the banter between those two. I love the intensity that they gave off of each other. Like you felt it in the book, you felt it in the audiobook. I read this in an audio, and I felt every second of it. And what's amazing about this, it is dual POV. So you get Kai and Peyton, and you also get Kai and Peyton in the audiobook. So you kind of like just like just hearing them and just like like geeking over them. And it's just, sometimes people are like, I don't want the guy's mind. You want his mind. You want to know like everything, just like everything. So yeah, this book was really good. I can't wait to read the other books. The ending of this kind of like shocked me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. The ending of the game, if you know what I'm talking about, the very end, you know, the final end of the game. I don't want to spoil it, but if you haven't read it, read it, then come back. But if you know, you know. The next book I have is The Seventh Husband of Evelyn Hugo. This book I really enjoyed. It's kind of like If We Were Villains. Those two books I didn't expect to like really like until I finish. This book kind of goes into her, just like her mind, her world of being in Hollywood in the 80s, and it just kind of like takes you back to what life was for her back then, being a movie star, being this, you can't be gay or trans, you can't do this, it has to be one way, and her just navigating life until like you hit like the early like 2000s and whatnot. Kind of was like, damn, she's been through a lot. And she basically tells the story to Monique, who is a like a Vogue, Times Square, whatever, what is it, writer? She's like a writer for this like big time company, but she only wanted Monique to be the person to write her story. And yeah, that's really it. You just follow along her journey in the 80s and you just hear her story, and it was, I really enjoyed it. I want to read more books of hers. If her writing is like this, I'm all in. I really am. Next book I have, I never thought I was gonna read it. I really didn't. It was one of those books that like I could wait till next year and I will be fine reading it. But it is Addicted to You / the Calloway series. This whole series. I don't have the whole book. I have two, but you know, this is the first one. It follows, the three books follow Lo and Lily, and then it continues with Rose and Connor and Reich and Daisy, and it follows their whole journey of it. And he is an alcoholic and she's a sex addict, so you go through their journey of being addicts, then recovering from being an addict, and they're just like love, found family between just like all of them. It's like wonderful knowing, you know, Lily's relationship with her parents. Like you see that, you see Lo struggling with his dad, and you know, finding out that like he has a brother and a sister. Like, you know, it's just like, I don't know, there's just so much world build that I really enjoyed. It wasn't so much of a slow banter, so if you're into that and this is like fast paced, like I understand. This is more like fast paced, one and done, world build, rich family type of vibes. This is it. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the 10 books that are out with this book. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just like one of those books that I would hold dear to my heart. It's probably a book that I would maybe get a tattoo of. That's how much I love it. And I'm not a romance girly. I've talked about this, but this made me kind of fall in love with the romance side of just like a normal book that isn't fantasy or dark romance. So yeah, I shout out to this one. The next book that I have, I'm almost done. I have like 2 more books. It's a book, it's probably not going to be for everybody. It's kind of like Haunting Adeline. Okay? But if you want to just like go for it, you know, stick it in the mud, I'm gonna read it. I do recommend this. It is A Butcher and Blackbird. I think we've all heard of this. This book is like so unique, and just like, you know, what everyone has said about this book is very true. This book is not for the faint of heart. This book is very different. This is 2 serial killers falling in love. But when I kind of like read the back of it, my mind went into like something else. This completely took me like 180, and I still really loved it. It's basically 2 serial killers, and they go and kill other serial killers, but every year those 2 play a game of like, you know, of who can kill the serial killer first type of thing, and then they go back to their lives. One's a cook. I forgot what she does. She's something. She's like a lawyer. She's like a psychiatrist. She's something like, I think medical. I could be wrong, but I know she does something. I know he's like a cook. He's like a line cook. He owns his own restaurant. He's like very like popular. But yeah, and then they just like slowly like fall in love at the end. There is a lot of trigger warnings. There is cannibalism. There is what else is there? There's eyeballs coming out. There is if you love ice cream, there's that too. My favorite scene of this book is probably really bad. It is the ice cream scene. I can't eat cookies and cream ice cream the same way I think a lot of other people eat cookies and cream. I can eat other ice cream. I think cookies and cream is the only one that I'm kind of like about still at this moment, but it's still one of my favorite scenes in this book. The way she wrote it, just the whole kind of like scene that plays out in the kitchen is just like funny to me. How Rowan is still like traumatized from like dinner is also really funny. But yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. It's one of those books where you kind of have to like go in with like, you know, just like the strength of going into it. But if you can, I really recommend this book. This one is more cute than the other one. This is Check and Mate, and I remember reading this and I remember just not putting it down. Like I read this like throughout the night and I loved it. You follow Mallory and on this journey of her struggling. Her mom, I forgot what her mom has. Her mom has something. She can't work anymore, so she's the only one working at the moment. And she used to love chess. Like chess was like one of her things. Her best friend was like, hey, there's this charity event, competition, chess. You should come join. And she's just like, no. And she's like the grumpy and he's like the sunshine. I really enjoy that. And they're like, she's just kind of like, no, I don't want to do it, blah, 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 whatever. The friend convinced her to go to this charity event. She plays against Nolan, the best chess player, the young chess player in the world at the moment. She beats him. She checkmate him. And then she's just kind of like, okay, bye. And then she like leaves. It's literally about chess and falling in love with chess again and meeting this guy again, and just, I don't know, it was cute. I really enjoyed it. It is a book I would reread. I might reread it, but yeah, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And the last book is probably one of the saddest books that I have for you. So if you want a sad book, this is it. This is The Last Letter. This is also by Rebecca Yarros, who wrote Fourth Wing. And this is, I don't know, this is like one of her early, no, I don't think it's the earliest book. I think it's like somewhere in between. It's, to me, it wasn't sad until the very end. I think it was just like an unexpected plot twist. Would this be a book I read again? No, because I don't want to cry. I've tried reading the ending of this book multiple times, and I just cried my eyes out, and that's how I knew. Not it. Can't read it anymore. One deal, one done. I'm good. It follows Ella, and she owns like this hotel suite kind of thing. I believe it's in Colorado, and she has 2 twins. She's a single mom. The daughter has cancer, but sadly her brother dies during deployment, and she basically tells her best friend like, hey, I need you to go take care of her. I need you to make sure to see how my sister is. That is basically the last letter, hence The Last Letter. It even says it on the bag. There's like a little letter, which is really cute. Also, it was the guy that she was talking to on deployment. They just never met. They never had pictures. It was just kind of like a letter type of thing going back and forth. And when her brother died, she thought he died as well. So it was kind of, there's like a lot of grief, there's a lot of emotions, and he basically shows up and was like, hey, I'm here, but I'm not going to tell you that, you know, I was the person that you were writing to. I'm going to keep that a secret until like midway through. So it's a lot of that, and the ending of it was a plot twist. It was really sad. But yeah, that is the 10 books that I have that I recommend if you ever wanted to read it, if you want to, I don't know, check it out yourself. And yeah, that is it for me. I am going to go to bed. It is almost 4 o'clock in the morning. You're going to need sleep. But I wanted to like throw this video out there for you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. And I will hopefully either see you next year or when I do my 2024 wrap up of all the books I read. One of those two. I don't know which one. So one of them is going to come first. But yeah, that's really it for me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys got recommendations of something. I don't know. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm tired. I'm just rambling at this point. Bye!